Namaste. Namaste, everyone. A very warm welcome to all of you. I know it's a wet evening, but you know what? Isn't it brilliant that we are all gathered here at the Éire Vedanta Society for a spiritual enlightenment through discourses from some of our distinguished guests who will be here with us very shortly. My name is Nair, and I'm delighted to be hosting this special gathering here. And I'd like to thank you all for being part of this beautiful evening here today with all of us. I have to say, an evening like this gives us all a fantastic forum to come together, to soak ourselves into the spiritual discourses from some of our powerful spiritual leaders who are going to be here with us. And it's a great opportunity for all of us to take some of these learnings, which will enlighten us and show us the path towards our overall spiritual well-being for all of us. To give a great start to this beautiful evening, we have here with us Peter Moore of Wholesome Virgins, and Peter will be joined by Lara and Revered as well. Virgins, or devotional singing as they are called, I'm sure you all would agree that they're one of the most simplest forms to focus our minds and to also to connect to our inner self. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, to give a beautiful start to this evening, we're delighted to have here with us Lara, Amber, and Peter. Thank you so much.
We will begin with 3 poems, and then sing the background. We hope you will all be able to sing along. First song will be Bless the Lord, my soul, bless God's holy name. And you will also hear that we will chant the many names of God, which you may also join in. Bless the Lord, my soul. Bless the Lord, my soul, and bless God's holy name. Bless the Lord, my soul, Jesus is Lord. Bless the Lord, my soul, and bless God's holy name. Bless the Lord, my soul, Jesus is
Chamundai
Kalima, 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 Chamundaye, Kalima, 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 Chamundaye. Kalima, 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 Chamundaye, Kalima, 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 Chamundaye, Kalima, 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 Chamundaye, Kalima, 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 Govindam Adipurusham Samaham Bhajam. Govindam Adipurusham Samaham Bhajami. Govindam Adipurusham Samaham Bhajami. Govindam Adipurusham Samaham Bhajami. Adipurusham Samaham Bhajami. Govindam Adipurusham Samaham Bhajami. Govindam Adipurusham Samaham Bhajami. Venum Kampandam Maravendadalaya Kacham Arhavatam Samashitam Bodhasarananda Kandar Bhagavate Gamaniya Visesa Suha Adipurusham Samaham Bhajami. Adipurusham Samaham Bhajami. Govindam Adipurusham Samaham Bhajami. Govindam Adipurusham Samaham Bhajami. Adipurusham Samaham Bhajami. Govindam Adipurusham Samaham Bhajami. Angani Yasya Sakale Triyavriti Manti Vasyanti Akti Kalyanti Shiram Jaganti Ananda Chinmaya Sanu Javala Vigrahasta Govindam Adipurusham Samaham Bhajami. 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 Samaham Bhajami. Govindam Adipurusham 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 Samaham Bhajami.
For those who have just joined us this evening, once again, I'd like to extend a very warm welcome to all of you to this unique, one of its kind, special retreat here. And And today is a special day for all of us, as we are very honored to have here with us four very senior monks from the four different continents in the world. So I would like to extend a very warm welcome to all of you. Very special welcome to Revered Swami Bodhasarananda Ji Maharaj. Swamiji is the Assistant General Secretary. Swamiji is the Assistant General Secretary in Ramakrishna Math and Mission in Delhi, Calcutta, which is also the headquarters of the Ramakrishna Math. Also Revered Ishatmananda Ji Maharaj, Minister in charge from Vivekananda Vedanta Society of Chicago. Thank you so much for being here with us. Revered Swamiji Nirmalatmananda Ji Maharaj, Minister in charge, Ramakrishna Vedanta Ashram in Sao Paulo, Brazil. And Revered Swami Sarvasthananda Ji Maharaj, Minister in charge, Ramakrishna Vedanta Center in the UK. We would like to extend all of you, and we look forward to hearing from you today from some of the discourses from you. We really look forward to it. So now I would like to hand you over to Swami Shantidananda Ji, who is the Minister in charge of Ramakrishna Vedanta Center, Dublin. Please come up to say a few words, welcoming all of us. Swami Ji.
Jananim Sharadam Devi Ramakrishnam Jagadgurum Padapadme Tayo Shripa Pranama Vimuhurum Namashri Yatirajaya Vivekananda Surayi Satchit Sukasvarupaya Swami Netapaha. Revered Swamijis and dear devotees, after completion of my 1 year and 1 month, say 13 months in Dublin, I feel so happy in this blessed evening to see such a revered monks, where, as Bindu said, 4 revered monks have come from 4 different continents, which is very rare indeed. So we are all blessed to have such a revered monks from such distant place. For this, probably, I pay my reverential pranams to Holy Trio for giving this wonderful opportunity. As you all know, as you are aware, today we are having spiritual retreat. So what is retreat? Once when I joined in Ramakrishna at Alsur, Bangalore, in one of the question and answer session, a devotee who was sincere enough and was straightforward enough, he told, Swami, I don't come here to listen to your discourses. I'm not bothered also. But Ramakrishna Ashrama gives a very good food. That's the reason I come to spiritual retreat on the lighter side. So he was done. But retreat is what? Retreat. We all know that. Whoever hearing the lectures of Swami Purnanandaji or any monks of the Éire Vedanta society, we all know that our intrinsic nature is Atman, or the self, or the pure awareness, or pure consciousness. But unfortunately, many times we are prejudiced because of superimposition. We all feel that we are body, mind, and we are always clubbed and confused with a lot of paraphernalia, sectional things. As a result, psychosomatic problems or theory of alienation, all these problems are due to this because we have moved away from our real nature. Say when we are children, sometimes we miss the road from our home and we keep on roaming to go back to house. Of course, today GPS is there, we put it and go back. Otherwise, if not GPS is there, if we miss the home, we'll be go on roaming and will not be able to go back to the house. So most of us, that's what our life journey is. Though there are temporary goals in us, after reaching it, a question keeps on haunting in our mind. Who am I? What is my real nature? So after death, will I exist or not? Before birth, was I existing or not? Can I put a full stop for all these things? Such questions can haunt us many times with a spiritual aspect. Then we get answer. Yes, by knowing oneself, definitely we'll be able to get the answers for all this. And this has been very symbolically told by Taittiriya Upanishad. Said, Soka Mayata Bohusyam Prajayi. The Parabrahman, the Supreme Self thought, let me become many, and so we are here. The moment when we understand our true real nature, then all our sufferings get extinct and we can be blissful. The same thing in a very symbolic language has been told in the Bible that Adam ate the forbidden apple. So he sinned it and he came down from his true real nature. So every religion and every scripture has told same thing. We have forgotten our real nature. So we need few times, few occasions, few places where it reminds us, it makes us to rethink what is my true nature and go back to the source. So retreat. I'm going in a wrong direction. So I have to make a U-turn, I have to make a roundabout, and I have to go back to my source, that is self or Atman or Brahman or God. So these retreats will help us to go back to our source and to find the real source for happiness or bliss or what. So let I fervently pray to the Holy Trio to bless all of us and to be the spiritual retreat on such occasion, so that it makes us to understand who are we in reality, and probably we'll be able to retrace our steps and we will reach the source. And for this, we have got 4 revered monks from 4 classes. Revered Swami Bodhasarananda Maharaj is the Assistant General Secretary of Ramakrishna Math and Ramakrishna Mission, and more than 15 years he is holding the chair. And before that, he was heading he has worked in different capacities, and he was heading the institution called Advaita Ashrama in the foot of Himalayas. And the center was started by 1899 by Swami Vivekananda himself. And many Western devotees also, they stayed there and they contributed to Prabhupada Bharata, which is the English journal. And of course, most of us, we know Swamiji already. Dublin and Ireland know Swamiji because in 2018, for the inauguration of this center, he had visited and he gave his blessings through his talk and his presence. I fervently, on behalf of devotees and personally, reverentially, I welcome Swamiji for this August lecture. And Revered Swami Nirmalatmananda Maharaj is the minister in charge or president of Ramakrishna Vedanta Ashram, Sao Paulo, Brazil. In 1998, there were a couple of people, just probably a handful of devotees, 10 or 15 devotees were there, and headquarters asked, will you go and take care of the center? And he immediately left in 1998. And when he went, probably $4,000 or $5,000 with a small house was the position of the center. From 1998 to 2022, it is all probably beyond our imagination. Now, full-fledged, well-established 5 centers are there in the Brazil in just 2 decades. And each center has got a very big house, probably it costs more than 1 million, and including land and the assets and everything goes probably, as I know from his assistant monk, that around at least, if not less than 25 million, that's the worth of the center, and are probably 200 plus. Every center has got, and all the Brazilians, they go there. So such is the capacity of the Swamiji, but he always keeps quiet and he always, he shows that he doesn't know anything. Such a wonderful Swamiji. So reverentially, on behalf of devotees and myself, I convey my pranams and I welcome Swamiji for this August camp. And Swami Ishatmananda Maharaj has come from the city where we all know because of Swami Vivekananda. Probably you can imagine which is that city. Chicago. Swamiji comes from. And in the Port Blair, he started a new center, Port Blair, with all difficulties. And with all difficulties, he started a center and it was well established. And he thought, okay, I can take some rest, I can relax. But immediately headquarters sent him to the northeast part of the India, where there were a lot of challenges working among the tribals. But still he took that challenge, and for a couple of years worked with all the midst of so much difficulties and all. Again, he got probably settled, he thought, and again he was asked to go to Chicago. And just when he went to Chicago, it was so wonderful occasion, he had only $2 million debt, that's all. So he had to work hard to clear it. And afterwards, Swamiji didn't stop there. Recently, to promote harmony of religions in Chicago, in the heart of the city, an old church was purchased, for which cost probably $2 million. And which has got a good amount also in that. And also we should remember here, when we were trying to purchase this land, Swamiji, as Purnananji asked him, because of headquarters suggested, immediately he sent around $30,000 for this purchase of this building. Such a has come here. So on behalf of you and personally, reverentially, I welcome Swami. Another is Swami Sarvasthananda Maharaj. He comes from Karnataka, that is southern part of India, and he was posted to Gujarat, which is the western part of India. It is completely new language and all. So wherever we go, we try to learn language. Swamiji learned language. Okay, there is nothing special in that. He not only learned language, he was able to give discourses. He was able to contribute articles in the Gujarati, and he was the editor of the Gujarati magazine, who comes from Karnataka. His mother tongue is Kannada. So that is his capacity, and very well, versed in Swami Vivekananda's literature. If you can show it anywhere, and if there is because of today internet, there is a lot of interpolations it will be there, and if you take it, you will be able to tell whether this is Swamiji's language or not, whether there is an interpolation. Such a mastery has got on Swami Vivekananda's works and Sri Ramakrishna's works, and of course scriptures. And Swamiji is heading Ramakrishna Vedanta Center, London. And when we were supposed to purchase this present building, there also around 25 to 30,000 pounds were sent. And I know him personally from my young days. And also when I went as just a young monk in Tajko, immediately asked Saurashtra University, can you give 2 talks for professors, associate professors, or whatever? I said, Maharaj, I can try, but I'm not sure because they are all professors. He said, you can do it, and he encouraged me, and I was able to give 2 lectures for 2 workshops for the professors. Swamiji also has come reverentially on behalf of devotees, and personally, I welcome Swamiji for his honor. Honored Revered Swami Purnananji Maharaj, I think you know better than me regarding Swami Purnananji Maharaj, of his dedication, of his commitment. We are able to see this center, and whatever is in Ramakrishna Vedanta Center is in Ireland. That is because of him, his dedication, his commitment, his hard work for 15, 16 years. So reverentially, I welcome Swamiji for this August gathering on behalf of devotees and personally. Now I'm very happy to see so many devotees, more than devotees, so many aspirants to know who am I or to know that truth. Probably you have to pat your back yourself because you're all interested in spirituality. Thank you for coming. Thank you.
Thank you so much, as always, to speak very eloquently and also to explain the meaning of the treat in such a simpler form. I thought that was just amazing. And thank you so much once again to this. It's always brilliant to have you here, and of course, it is always brilliant to hear from you as well, the words of wisdom from Swami Purnananda. And now we are delighted to have you with us, and guests, our distinguished guests here, our speakers here today. So it gives me utmost pleasure to welcome Revered Swami Bodhasarananda Maharaj for a discourse on the ideas and the ideals of Ramakrishna Mission on this special year, where the mission celebrates its 125th year. Swami, please request you to say.
Before I say something to you, I'm glad to know that Swami Purnanandaji has published the second volume of his reflections that we are going to launch right now.
This is a unique copy because it hasn't got an ISBN number. That's published works, and there's a link to purchasing this. Thank you. also my thanks to Georgiana. Georgiana's not yet. Who really worked hard to. Thank you.
Thank you. Om Apukaya cha dharmasya sarva dharmastarupine avadara varishtaya Rama Krishnaya te Namah. At the outset, my salutations go to the Holy Trio, Revered Swami Nirmalatmananda, Revered Swami Ishatmananda, Revered Swami Sarvasthananda, Revered Swami Purnananda, Revered Swami Shantivartananda, and their devotees and admirers. It gives me great pleasure to be with you this evening after a gap of almost 4 years, as has already been announced. When this center was inaugurated, I had the pleasure to come and inaugurate this building. And now, after a gap of 4 years, I'm getting this opportunity to be with you all. This year, from March 1, May 1, we are celebrating the 125th anniversary of Ramakrishna Mission. It was Government of India that came forward to tell us that we should celebrate this historic moment, this momentous moment, and they gave us some funds also that we should celebrate this occasion. Since last 125 years, we have been holding high the ideal of Atmano Mokshatam Jagathitaya. Atmano Mokshatam, for one's own self-emancipation, and Jagathitaya, and for the welfare of the world. So the banners of these 12 ideals we have been upholding since last 125 years. And this flag we have been taking forth to different continents. It is really a great moment. A person, he can live for say 100 years at the most. Generally after 17, 18, just will bid goodbye to the world. But some people, they somehow carry on after 100 years. But this 100 years or 125 years is nothing for an organization. Because the ideal of an organization is Charai Veti, this Upanishad ideal, that is go forward. And this institution, this organization, it will continue for thousands of years. So this 125 years we are celebrating, just to remind us about the ideal. With what ideal it was started by the Lord himself, Sri Ramakrishna. So it is a big mind. In Sanskrit, we say, Simhava Lokana. When a lion walks a great deed, then he comes to a hill, he climbs a hill, then looks back. How far I have walked and where I have to go, in which direction we have to go. So like that, these milestones give us an opportunity to reflect with what ideals Sri Ramakrishna started this organization, what ideals they set for us, and there we have to go. So we don't have to do on our own what we have to do or what not. He himself has set the ideal before us, highlighting the significance of the avatarhood of Sri Ramakrishna. Swami Vivekananda, in one of his points, he writes, just I give you a simple English translation of that. The nectar that was churned from the ocean of Vedas, into which Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwar, and other gods poured their strength into this nectar. And all the incarnations and gods who have visited this earth, they poured their life into it in order to make it more strong. And that nectar has been brought to us by Sri Ramakrishna himself. Not few drops. The whole kalusha, the whole pitcher of nectar has been brought to us. So it is our bounden duty to spread his gospel, to spread his nectar, his ashirvad, his kripa to everyone. So for that, Lord has come. So many people, they say, Swami Vivekananda of this, but that's not so. Ramakrishna himself who started this. And sometimes I think that this Ramakrishna Sangha, this Ramakrishna organization, it had its birth by the side of this dead state of Sri Ramakrishna when he was lying at Kashi. Then he was talking to the devotees towards the end of his life at Kashipur, where he stayed. So by the side of that pot, he gave birth to Ramakrishna Sangha. And another idea that comes to my mind is the story of the Ramakrishna Sangha, of the Ramakrishna order, has come from a divine dream. So how it started, you must have read the life of Rani Rasmini. She was a great devotee of Mother Kali. Sri Ramakrishna had a vision that she was one of the 8 attendants of Mother Kali. So she was so pious, so religious, so spiritual, that she had the occasion to serve Sri Ramakrishna. Once she decided to go to Varanasi and have the darshan of Baba Vishwanath, and also have the darshan of Annapurna. When everything was set, she had arranged, because in those days there was no train. The story is of 1847. In those days, there was no train connection from Calcutta to Varanasi. So the main route was through the river, Ganga. So about 24 boats were engaged. One for Rani herself, then she had 3 daughters and their families, another 3 boats. Then food provisions for 6 months. For that, another 4 boats were engaged. And then so many servants and guards for them, another 4. boats were engaged. And then they have to take milk also for tea and curds and other things. Some 4 cows also were taken along with their orders for 6 months. And so it was an elaborate arrangement. Everything was set right. The day she was to start, one day before that, she had a vision of Mother Kali. He told her, you see, you're my worshipper, you're my devotee. So if you want to have my vision, just and worship me, you purchase land by the side of Ganga, construct a temple, and worship me daily and offer food stuff to me. I will be happy with that, and I will bless you. See the intensity of that vision, that she left everything, she cancelled everything. Generally, nobody will do after having done so much elaborate arrangements, nobody will like to cancel the program. But the vision was so intense that she cancelled her visit to Varanasi. And then she purchased a plot of land, constructed a big temple dedicated to Mother Kali, and installed one stone image of Mother Kali here. Then another temple was constructed dedicated to Sri Krishna, and then 12 temples to Lord Shiva. Like that, when the worship started, so Sri Ramakrishna's elder brother Ramkumar, he was engaged as a priest, and with him Sri Ramakrishna also came. And then after 1 year, he started worshiping Mother Kali. So it became a ground for him to practice spiritual sadhanas of different religions, not only Hinduism, the Tantra, the Vaishnavism, the Éire Vedanta. Then afterwards, he practiced according to principles of Christianity and Islam. 30 years he stayed there at Dakshineshwar. He opened a laboratory of different religions there and showed that God can be attained through various ways. So this was his unique contribution. So accordingly, so many devotees came from different religions to hear his gospel. So many teachers came from different corners of India to teach him. He didn't run after any guru, they came on their own. And then he had a vision of Mother Kali that intimate disciples will come to you and they will spread your message, they will serve you. So this indication he got, this revelation he got from Mother Kali. Then in the evening, then he was aspiring for those devotees. Mother Kali has revealed to me that they will come, but they are not coming. After evening, he'll go to the rooftop of the house where he was staying and then gave that divine call. Wherever you are, please come. So that divine call. And see the vibration of that divine thought that he gave from the rooftop of the Kali temple at Dakshineshwar. That people are responding to that, and they will go on responding for several thousands of years. We have left our home in earth and running after the person whom we haven't seen. And we have renounced our own people, our kith and kin, our parents, our property, our house, everything. We know that our parents are there, they will look after us. But we renounced everything and ran about somebody whom we haven't seen. So it is that divine attraction that has brought us here. And you are here, it is also in response to that divine call that all of us give. One day, Sri Ramakrishna, he was just talking to his intimate disciples at Panchavati, at Dakshineshwar. In the meantime, Keshav Chandra Sen and Vijay Goswami, they also came there, and hearing the words of Sri Ramakrishna, they felt so inspired. In Keshav Chandra Sen, he told Sri Ramakrishna, "Sir, if you permit me, I will carry this message from this to different people through the publication of books and magazines." Sri Ramakrishna was in a high state of spirituality, but when he came down a little to relative life, then he told him, the message of this place cannot spread through magazines and newspapers. But when time will come, 100 Himalayas will not be able to obstruct the message. Sri Ramakrishna is dead. Because he was dead sure this is Mother Kali's, Divine Mother's work. We don't need any this person to teach it, to propagate it. When time comes, it will spread on its own. So afterwards, for this one, and when he used to talk to his intimate disciples in his room, he was sure that all the doors and windows are closed. He will ask, I hope there's no outsider. Then he will speak his divine wisdom to them. But in course of time, the vibration of his message, it pierces into those thick walls of the creation's room and has spread everywhere. When Buddha, after his nirvana, he came to Sarnath to give message to his 5 disciples. You will now also visit Sarnath. Many people are staying nearby. And in those days, it was a very remote place. And we had no newspaper reporters, no television channels, no email and WhatsApp. But in course of 400, 500 years, his message spread in different corners. So the same thing is happening with the message of Sri Ramakrishna also. His gospel is spreading everywhere. Only very few people who are blessed, they come on their own, they get inspired with his message and then they spread it. Sri Ramakrishna told, Naren Shiksha Deve, Bengali had told, Naren is Vivekananda will teach the world. And then he went, Swami Vivekananda went to Chicago. There he spread message of Vedanta to the whole world. To the portals of Chicago, he spread his message to the whole world. Max Muller was a very learned professor at Oxford University. Somehow he had read some few things about Sri Ramakrishna and became so inspired that he wrote one article named The Great Mahatma in 19th century magazine. And when Swami Vivekananda read it, he was so glad. The professor, great professor, learned professor from Oxford University, has written an article on Sri Ramakrishna. So people in the West will come to know about him. He was so happy that he visited 3 times Oxford University to meet this professor, Max Muller. Then he requested him to write a little bigger book on Sri Ramakrishna. He told him, I don't know about his message and his teachings. He told, don't worry, when I go back to Calcutta, I will send you a compilation of his teachings. Swami Vivekananda requested one of his brother disciples, Swami Sarvasthananda, to compile the teachings of Sri Ramakrishna and then sent to Professor Max Muller. Professor Max Muller wrote the life of Sri Ramakrishna and added his teachings as it is, unedited, and then brought out the book, Sri Ramakrishna, his life and sayings, in 1898. So through this book, the message of Sri Ramakrishna spread. And afterwards, we find Roma Rolla, the Nobel laureate, French Nobel laureate. He also read one small booklet on Sri Ramakrishna, Case of Silence. It has literary grace, but so many, some mistakes are there, factual errors are there. But because of this literary grace of that book, he brought out this book. And Roma Rolla, after reading this, he also became fascinated. Then he wanted to know more about Sri Ramakrishna. Then Miss MacLeod and others sent whatever valuable literature was there on Sri Ramakrishna descent. And in 1927 and 1929, he brought out two wonderful books, The Life of Sri Ramakrishna and The Life of Swami Vivekananda, French. And simultaneously, several translations of those two books came out in various languages, in Russian, in Japanese, in German, and in English. It was brought out by Advaita Ashram. Then I had the opportunity to spend about 40 years of life. Like this message of Sri Ramakrishna spread everywhere. And later we find Christopher Isher. He also wrote that the Ramakrishna and his disciples, it became so popular that simultaneously 3 editions were brought up, one from America, another from London, and the Indian edition was brought up by Advaita Ashram. And after reading this book, many Americans, they left their home and work, became a monk in our order. So how Sri Ramakrishna gets his own people and gets his work done. We think we are doing, but he gets his own work done with his own people. So blessed are few who surrender themselves for the work of Sri Ramakrishna. So when Swami Vivekananda, after returning from the West, he wanted to have a permanent home for Sri Ramakrishna, where he could erect one temple, but he had no money. This Henrietta Mueller from London, she gave the entire amount of 29,000 rupees to Swami Vivekananda. Here is the money, you please purchase, because you are going to erect one temple for Sri Ramakrishna. So you see how people come on the road. Then Sarah Boone, she also gave temple money for the construction of temple and level grounds, and also donated money for the construction of a school for Sister Nivedita. And then so many other household disciples like Balram Bose, then Girishchandra Ghosh, Ramchandra Datta, and many others, they also came up. Like this message of Sri Ramakrishna is spreading in various countries. Swami Vivekananda, he sent Swami Abhedananda to London and announced that thereafter he will give lecture. No, I will not be able to give lecture. He told him, I will throw you from this window if you don't do Sri Ramakrishna's work. And for 25 years, he continued to preach Vedanta in the West, especially in America and England. And then later on, sent Swami Shardananda, Swami Turiyananda, Swami Turgunathitananda, like this. Then afterwards, the second generation of monks, like Swami Nikhilananda, Swami Prabhuananda, Swami Satprakashananda, and many other, Ashokananda, they did valuable work in the propagation of Sri Ramakrishna. And institution after institution started coming up in different places in America. Of course, the first mission that was started, Vedanta Center that was started in the West, was by Swami Vivekananda himself in 1894, when he set up Vedanta Center at New York. Then when he went there for the second time, in 1900, he started another center at San Francisco. Like that in India also, so many better Swamis came and they started center after center, which became vehicles for the propagation of Sri Ramakrishna's message. And the huge amount of literature that we have brought out in various languages is incredible. It is the legacy of Sri Ramakrishna that we have to keep. So like this, the message of Sri Ramakrishna is spreading everywhere. I was telling Swami Purnanandaji, as on date, we have got 267 centers in 24 countries. So many centers. And the activities of the Ramakrishna Mission can be divided into broad, say, 5 or 6 categories. One is preaching, spiritual and preaching work. So many temples have come up where the worship of the Holy Trio is going on. And then we give classes almost everywhere. And then we publish books through which the message is percolated to every nook and corner. So this is spiritual and preaching work. And then education. We have got about 1,000 schools and colleges of different grades. 1,000 schools. So giving them education. Swami Vivekananda that Annadan will be there, giving physical food to people. Then this also education provided to one and all. So that work is going on, all these education institutions, big institutions. The biggest one is at Coimbatore, scattered over an area of 350 acres of land. So many institutions, hub of institutions in one place, Coimbatore, in Tamil Nadu. Then another sphere of activity, and every year we spend about 400 crore rupees on account of education, spread of education. 400 crore. And another sphere of activity is health. We are running 14 hospitals in different places in India. And they are running almost more than 100 years. A lot of contribution we have done in the field of health services. And so many old age homes are there, at least 5 or 6 old age homes are there. And so many nursing schools and colleges have been started. Orphanages are there. And then tribal development in remote corners of India and other places. We have started our centers for the good of others. Even there are certain places where the government of India and other governments are not even doing anything. They invite us to initiate some activity. Even in Fiji Islands, I don't know how many of you have visited there. I went just before the onset of COVID. Since last 84 years, we are working there. We are running one college, about 1,000 students are there. And most of the people are coming out from this college. They are well placed, and many of them have migrated to other countries. They were all indentured labor. British had taken them there and they lost their home and everything. And it was Ramakrishna Mission who went for their rescue. We gave them education, health, everything, and made them stand on the own. So since last 84 years, we are working so they can understand the importance, the contribution of Ramakrishna Mission. In Mauritius, South Africa, we are running about some 10, 12 centers up there. There are also those indentured labor were sent, and there was no one to look after them. So, like this, and then another field is that empowerment of women. and then pecuniary help and so many activities. Anyway, not take much of your time. I'm very happy to be with you this evening. I wish you all the best. I invoke the blessings of Shri Ramakrishna, Ma Sharda Devi, Swami Vivekananda, Mr. Niveta, Jesus Christ, Lord, Buddha, to shower their grace on all of us and be true human beings. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Swamiji. Thank you so much for enlightening us with the ideas and ideas of Sri Ramakrishna Mission, but also giving us an overview of the history of the Vedanta Center and also the amazing contribution towards the community, not just in India, but also worldwide. So thank you so much for giving us that overview. And now, I'm delighted to welcome Revered Swami Ishatmananda ji Maharaj to enlighten us on how to spiritualize everyday life.
Friends, just now, Swami Bodhasarananda, he was saying that about education. I heard. Is it any disturbance?
There's a bit of a.
So this, I was in the Arunachal Pradesh, and in the Arunachal Pradesh school, just right, what type of education? Where they- Just one line. After going over there, then I wanted to build one the gate type of thing where I was thinking to make the two words, welcome and thank you. When you are entering into that campus, there's a huge campus, 280, 300 acres of land. So welcome and then. And I requested one of the most educated person in that community, the tribal person. Can you please tell me what is that in your dialect? Then he started scratching his head. Thank you and welcome. Well, I will discuss it with our people and I. Just in your language, what is thank you? No, Swami, give me something. Okay. Then after some time, and then I was pursuing, hey, what a, then he came and he told, I discussed with my seniors and they say, we never welcomed anyone. Whoever came, we cut them down. Question of welcome. So that word is absent in our diet. And thank you all to them. No. Those are the people, the Britishers. One British young officer, he wanted to have that expedition over there. That was the only officer with 21 people he entered. And they were butchered by the tribal people. So that was the group we were educated. Can you imagine? And 1970, it was started. The first Swami who went over there, he used to go to the village to ask them to come and be there to admit the students over there. It was impossible. The one person who got education, then afterwards he became the member of the parliament over there. And then he was telling that the experience. My father dragged me like a goat to the school. So they forcefully brought. And then I was there. They asked me to go to a small little room for the toilet. I was thinking the whole world is open. That was the. Then in the evening, when it is dark, my teacher will come and he will put the hand on the wall. Every room is lighted. I thought, well, I will take this. So I took the bulb secretly, and the summertime when we went back to the house, and I told my father, see, just hang it somewhere and wait for the dark. So the whole room will be lighted. You know, my father, my uncle, and the whole village came to see that miracle. After hanging that, we all were waiting. Then when the evening came, I entered into the room, and like the style of the teacher, I put my hand on the wall, but nothing happened. But there was no switch and no light. So he was thinking that was the condition of the tribal. And from there, they are doctors, engineers. And I found one who is researching over here in America. So that is the contribution of the Ramakrishna. Continuous. Swami is after Swami is there coming. And they are whatever that is possible, they do, and then they go ahead. But why? That is the question. When we talk about the spirituality, what is the spirituality? The three things we all want. First, no one wants to die. Anyone is here like die? No. No one wants to die. Second, we all like to know. So that is the second. And third, we like to be happy, isn't it? Three things. First, we like to survive, each and every one. Even the ant crawling on the floor, if you try to touch it, it will take its measure to somehow save. Where from that came in our life? Where from we learn how to survive and why? Because our Creator, who has created us, He has given us. So survival, that's called Sat in Sanskrit. S-A-T, Sat, existence. We like to know. The children will go on asking the mother or the grandfather, why this, why the puppy is doing like that, why the bird is flying. They like to know. Where from it came? From the Creator. That is Chit. C-H-I-D, Chit. And third one, we all want happiness. Whatever we do for happiness, never for suffering. We go to visit our friend, we sing, we eat, we do whatever for happiness. Where from the notion came from the Creator. So that is called in Sanskrit Anand, Sat Chita. Not that somebody came from the heaven and told us that. It's an experience, everyday experience. We like to survive, we like to know, and we like to get the joy, happiness. And for that, we do so many things, but we are not satisfied. I have noticed some of the young people, they'll be going any occasion. They'll be going and drinking, and not in one. There will be this pub, that pub, that pub, that pub. The whole night they are different places. They are going jumping. Why? Because they want happiness. But afterwards they get tired and take someone else. Then someone will take him out. Is that the happiness? Next day morning, then headache and all this. Some of the people, well-built people, they'll having the tattoo and all that. Even in the Chicago pool, they will have the motorbike, bikers. Why? Because people should see my tattoo going on like that. In the cold, not that he is not suffering, he is suffering. But he wants, the people should look at him. So why happen? But is that the way people get happy? No. Ultimately, we realize that is not the way we get happy. How we get happy? We close our eyes, sit for meditation, go into the deep, and there ultimately we understood it is not external, it is not outside. Happiness is inside. So this, how to get it? After having that process, withdrawing all the mind from all the sense objects, when we are meditating, then we are forgetting our body, we are forgetting our mind, and we are entering into a position where it's all joy. And that is called spiritual. Understanding the spirit, we got to get that spirituality. And what is the process? In the olden days, they gave a very simple, the spirituality in everyday life. Very simple 5 things. They call it Pancha Mahayajna. 5 great steps. Pancha, 5. Mahayajna, the great step. What is that? First is, in the morning you get up and remember God. Daiva Yajna. Why? Always there is something which is protecting us. Some people, they are trying so much, but still not getting success. Why? The blessings of God is not. Whether we believe it or not, God is there or not, but still, we doubt the blessings of God. So we have to just Panchamaya, remember this 5 things, get up in the morning, and whatever the God or goddess you like, keep a picture, a photo, or at least sign, and get up and say, God, is another day, a new day. Please be with me. That is the prayer. If you like, you can burn an incense stick, you can put over there, and as they always do, they will be showing like the happiness. They will put, not, if you do like this, that is also all right. If you do like this, that is also all right. But just remembering God. So it's called Daiva Mahayajna. Daiva means the godly, divine. Second is Rishi Yajna. What is the Rishi Yajna? Rishi means the knowers of the truth. So you have to read some scriptures. If you read some scriptures every day, you will get the wonderful feeling. The Bhagavad Gita is a unique book. Don't think it is a Hindu book. Inspiration, constant inspiration. I will quote a Sanskrit from the Bhagavad Gita. Urdharet atmana atmanam na atma abasadaye. Atmaiva atmano bandhu. Atmaiva ripu atman. Ripu means the enemy. Your mind can become your enemy. Your mind can become your friend. So never ever make your mind your enemy. Try to be your friend. My mind, and I have to make my friend. Our names, as they all were mentioning, you all know, Swami, then Ishatmananda, the 3. Swami, Ishatma. So what is Swami? Swami means master. Who's master? I don't have anything, not even a bank account. So every time I go and I'll be betting someone, hey, you're a so nice person. Can you please purchase a cup of coffee? Yes. Okay, Swami. Like that we all. You know, all the dress that you are wearing, the shoes that you are wearing, all this, somebody gave. All donations. But I am the master. Who's master? My own master. My mind's master. My mind should not think negatively, it should be positive. So that is the way it will be. First. And then the name, the Ananda, the ultimate thing is joy. If we don't become happy, then what is there in this life? After marriage, there is no joy. Then what is the fun of being married? After getting the job, the service, I'm not happy. Then why unnecessarily having the job? After becoming monk, I'm going on crying. Oh, then why to become a monk? So like that, everywhere you have to keep this idea. I should be happy without making others unhappy. That is also the concept. Without making others unhappy. The first I should remember the God, Daiva Mahayajna. Second is the Rishi Yajna. What is the Rishi Yajna? Reading the scripture. Scripture that gives you very positive idea. That is called scripture. Somebody wrote beautifully, he has the command over the language, and that will do. His character. The person who is writing the book, is it true to his words? And the book that he is writing, is it truly practice that? If not, it's of no use. So that's why the gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, I will tell you, the gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, this Ramakrishna, as the Swami Bodhasarananda was describing, he practiced each and everything, whatever he said. Read that. And you will find all the answers. Third is Pitri. Pitri means remembering the ancestors. This is very difficult. Remembering the ancestors. Why? Because the ancestors, we are here. So we should be happy and we should thank them. Because you were there, I got this life. And the fourth is Nri Yajna. Nri means having good relations with the neighbors, friends, and helping those who are unfortunate. Try to help them, distract them, like that. The first is what? No, I'm a teacher. Second is Rishi Yajna. Third is Pitri Yajna, remembering the ancestors, father, mother, and all. One should be the human life. If we forget my mother, if we forget my father, if we forget my ancestor, is it human life? Is it like the animal life? A few days, only the puppies, they will go on with the mother dog, and then afterwards they will forget who is the mother. No, not like that. We should remember mother. So she gave birth, and she took so much of pain for me for so many years. Now the mother is sitting over there. Now and then the child is coming. Is it okay, mother? And mother goes. Like that. But mother is constant attention to the child. And like that, he's growing up. And when he becomes 18 years old, hey, old lady, go away. What is it? You cannot say like that. So human. So you're becoming a human. Then finally, after the Nri Yajna, helping the human being, in how you can help somebody in pain. You can listen to his or her words. That's also a service. When somebody you know that having some difficulty, pray to the God. That is also Nri Yajna. If possible, get some monetary help or some other help. Nri Yajna. Finally, Bhuta Yajna. In Europe and America, I have seen people are really so good in our country, of course. They always go and help the birds and the animals. They will give them the food, the water. If every one of you do it, all these 5 yajnas that I am telling, I think almost all of you are practicing, isn't it? You get up and remember the God. And then you must be reading some books, some good books. Then you are thinking about the Father and Mother's Day, Father's Day, like that we are observing in this country. And helping others also for the here and there, giving the donation. And finally it comes, Bhuta Yajna, the animals, birds, reptiles, we are helping them, praying for them. These 5 Mahayajnas, great rishis they are telling, that will spiritualize your everything. And how you will feel that I am becoming spiritual? My muscle is becoming strong, and some aura is coming out at the back. Not like that. You will be happy and very, very considerate. Love and answer questions. These are the 2 qualities. What is God? My God is best. Your God is this. Come, let us fight. And that is that spirituality. Spirituality means love and answer. If you are developing that, you are really, really happy. How you are sitting over here. We monks sit like this, sweating. And after half an hour, my God, we forget God, we think about the needs. Because it is paining. But you people are sitting over here. And don't think it is over. Other 3 are there. But patiently you are coming, speaking, and when you are coming, you are bringing food, you are giving donation, and you are developing some friendship with others whom you never knew. Completely. Are you not spiritual? You are. Yes. You are spiritual. Only thing we don't understand that. No, we are really, really good people. Millions and millions are here outside. They like to cut your throat and take out everything. We are not, never can think about that, can we? No. We always think that everybody should be happy and let me be happy too. That is spirituality. And every day you are becoming spiritual. Know it for sure. Never ever we are going back. We are going forward. And what will happen one day after we become completely spiritual? Like Jesus, we will stand and say, I and my mother or father in heaven are one. What else? Who created me? That God, Allah, Jehovah, Buddha, Bhagavan. He is the only one. He has created me. And I have not done anything wrong in my life. Why should I have to be going visiting hell? I didn't do anything wrong. Anything wrong. Have confidence. Never go back. Develop your mind. Try to love others. Understand others. And blessings of Bhagavan Sri Ram Vishnu. And the blessings of Ma Sarada, blessings of all gods and goddesses will be. And you will feel so peace always. And whatever all these things are happening, it is always there. A little bit of distance. Otherwise, life is restless if there is no conflict. If everybody is friendly, then there is no need to fight. A little bit of fight, that is also different. So please be spiritual by following every day these 5 things. First, second, third, fourth, three means the being. And then finally, 100% marks to all. Thank you. Jai Ma.
Thank you so much, Swami Ishatmananda. That was amazing. And I've heard a lot of people talk about spirituality and everything, but very, very few have spoken in such a humorous way. And I think we all have got the message. We've got the message across. As you can hear from each one of them, they said it. They gave it back to you as well, which is brilliant. So I think you have given us achieve spirituality in the most, I wouldn't say the easiest way, but in a very simpler form you've explained it for. So thank you very much for that. Thank you. And of course, we are delighted to have here with us Sangamitraji, who is, of course, she's a devotee, and also she's very well known in Ireland, I have to say, for her beautiful singing of bhajan. So over to you, Sangamitraji.
Nachapane samyona bevanche payuna satana thatu navapanche kosha navapati padam nachopaste Chitan Dehopa Shivoha Shivoha Chidananderopa Shivoha Nami Krishna Nami Rama Oh my Nima Mene Pumasaya Hara Nadhari Mokachana Namo Na punyam na papam na sukham na dukham na mantro na tirtham na veda na yajna aham bhojanam naiva bhojana Sita Shivoha Shivoha Sita Shivoha Na mrityu na shanka na mitati veda pitaneva meneva mapala janma na bandho na mitra Gurunaiva Shishya Chidananderopa Shivoha Shivoha Chidananderopa Shivoha Shivoha Aham Vikanto Nirakare Vibhuta Sarvasthananda Sarvendriya Bodhasarananda Shiva
you so much, Sunita. Thank you very much. And now I'd like to request Brian Hanlon. Hi, Brian is a devotee and of course a director of the ashram as well, and we'd like to have here Brian to sing.
Yes, sure, sure. First time I'll be getting now. More doing the path. I guess Harrison is all of work. I'm not doing my fast. Showing up in there. Which is the way to bring back the Lord, Sri Ramakrishna. Question the Lord, Shesha Mana from our abundant Sri Ramakrishna feet. Swami Vivekananda. It's a great honor and a privilege for all of us here to be in the presence of Sri Ramakrishna here in Thailand. And above that, it is a huge blessing for all of us to have in our presence 6 months of the order. We are truly blessed with this. Dare I, as an Irish carpenter, try a bhajan to Ganesh as a prayer that all the obstacles before us all be removed. And then Shri Bhava Bhava Shri Bhava Bhava Shri Bhava Bhava best also in the presence of Vishal. So I will follow them with the bhajan aspect in our native language, which is dedicated to the Mother Mary, Mother of Jesus. Sada Maha
Thank you so much, Mike. That was thank you so much. And now we are delighted to have here with us Revered Swami Nirmalatmananda Ji Maharaj. Request Swami to please address.
Title.
Revered Swami Purnananda, my brother monks, members of the Board of Directors who are standing here, and devotees and friends. Swami Shantivata, he asked me, please say something. And he tried to give a topic. I said, I remember an incident. Swami Bodhasarananda was the head of the center in Hollywood Center for decades. The sannyasis and nuns used to gather around him. And he used to ask, Swami, we have to give the next month's bulletin. Please give the topic of the lecture. And Bhagavan used to say, you give any topic, I will speak about God. So, in the song, Ishatmananda, you give any topic, I will talk about spirituality. So, we are here today to hear something about spirituality, to reflect on what is spirituality. You have already heard my wonderful ideas. I just share with you a few more ideas on this topic. And before going into it, I'm extremely happy to see you all here, to be with you here. Of course, having the stomach full of wonderful food offered by all the devotees and friends. I'm thankful to all the warm welcome that you have given us. Years ago, I also thought, maybe 45 years ago, after reading Swami Vivekananda's literature, okay, listen, let us enter into the monastic life, sit and meditate, and into some of all the problems will be solved. You don't have to worry about anything. That was the inspiration. But then, as you began to sit, as you began to meditate, as you began to reflect, there are many things come into play. Then you begin to understand what is really spirituality means, where it is, and what it is, and how we go about it. Apparently, it looks simple, and it is really simple if you only know how to go about it. Otherwise, you get complicated things and make it more confusing. First of all, let me begin with what we know, what we are. We know that we have a name and form. We have the five senses. We have the desires. We have the likes and dislikes. We have so many other thoughts and emotions. This is what we are. There is nothing wrong with it. Suppose if I ask you who you are, I will say I am such and such person. I was born on that day, and I am like this, and I work like this. You identify yourself with your work, with your relations, with your thinking, with your liking, with your disliking. So your world is a small world. In fact, each one of us has a small world of our own. That is the beginning of the identification of we are, each one of us. That's fine. There's nothing wrong in that. But the true spiritual says, no, that's only the beginning. There is much more. Then what is it much more? You go in understand your own concept, your own ideas, your own mind. I don't say mind, your mind. Somebody said, own mind, sir. Don't mind about his mind. That's easy. So better think about your mind. I'm not going into the technical details of all these things. Simply just a bundle of thoughts. That much we know. Bundle of thoughts. Every action is preceded by your thought, whether it is a small or big action, or even any movement at the physical level is preceded at the mental level first. So you have an idea, world of ideas, world of concepts, world of thoughts. In that we live, in fact, we identify that a little less than the physical level. There comes a challenge. When you sit for meditation, when you sit and concentrate, even when you want to concentrate on the top of the number, you maybe apparently your eyes are open, but your mind is. So because of the lack of concentration. So it is only when you begin to concentrate, dive deep within you, comes all the challenges. What are the challenges? Your own thoughts, your own ideas, your own concept, your own the pairs of opposite likes and dislikes. Is it good? So a kind of world that you have created inside, it comes to you, and then you are part of it. Your spiritual journey is a lonely journey. In meditation, you walk alone. Who is going to be with you when you meditate? No one else except your own mind. In meditation, in concentration, in spiritual depthness, what you do, or what you accomplish you, nothing but your own mind. So it is a journey alone with your own mind only company. And as you walk, you find it's an endless. There is no pathway left. One day it's fine, next day it's not. So it is an endless forest like. You never know. So our meditation practice, our thinking, our ideas, everything, in such of the spiritual aspect, somewhere get formed. So I asked the Swami, Swami, can you give some advice so that we can get it up on this and then straight away go into the spiritual aspect of it? And he gave us two simple things, which can be the practice in daily life. Swami Ishatmananda has already given you many things. Then just adding a little more. As I thought, it would be beneficial. So that Swami, he was lying in bed because he was a tired person. He said, my boy, I don't know about the illumination, samadhi, and the nirvana and all those things. But one thing I know, what is that? Please do not waste time and energy on things that are not useful to your life. Simply this much he said. Just remember. Please do not use your time, your valuable time and energy on things that are not useful to you in your spiritual growth. Still, I remember this every day. Right? We unknowingly spend a lot of time, a lot of energy on the agenda every day, how much you spend your time on things that were not useful to you, then you regret. So spirituality begins an awareness of how you spend your time, how you spend your energy, and where you concentrate, where is your focus, and how productive you are in that field. The same mind you can apply to the work, the working field. You are a worker, you can apply. It's a question of disciplining our own mind. So when you begin to discipline your mind, the mind wants to discipline you. As you sit one day, oh, Swami spoke very nicely. Let me go and concentrate. So you sit, and then the mind begins to watch you. Until yesterday, you were all right. Suddenly you got something fascinated about the meditation. Are you serious? It tests you. You want to test, and the mind tests you. Are you really serious? I just wanted to show. So you go and pick up a japamala and in front of everybody to do the japa, and then mind, oh, no, you are only showing. It will not last. Maybe few days you may, but it's not going to last. So when you begin to in the mind tests you. The mind makes you whether you are very serious, sincere in your attempt. If you are sincere, the mind begins to act as a friend. And so therefore, our process is to make our own mind as a friend. No, I want to be very sincere. I want to do things this way. Even though I am busy with so many things, I want to sit for 10 minutes and then pray in my heart, not with my lips. And then I want to see the light. I don't know where you are. So the mind begins to really earn for something that is not known. I don't know what is God. I don't know who you are. I don't know whether you are a man or woman, or you are both or beyond. I don't know, but Sri Ramakrishna taught this as a good prayer. Some devotee asked, we don't know what is God. But then how can we pray to that entity whom we don't know? Sri Ramakrishna taught. No. The very same thing you can pray. If you pray sincerely, he will hear. Or she will hear. I don't know who you are. Why not believe in? So want to pray. Simple. Just like a mother seeking, just like a child seeking a mother. So similarly, when we put into practice, spiritual practice, the mind tests you. Many times we ignore this fact. When mind tests you, you have to respond sincerely and with real and for knowing. Then comes the emotional aspect of things. People normally say, oh, this is a negative emotion, that's a positive emotion. I also thought about it long ago. But thereafter, I just left it. There is no negative emotion as such. Every emotion has a message for you, no matter what it is. If you feel alone, that emotion says, this feeling alone is no good for you. So get in touch with someone. Unfortunately, there are not so many people who can hear. As soon as you want to talk, oh, I have no time to hear you. So therefore, the past emotions come into play. And when the emotion comes, you don't get lost. Why I'm saying all these things, we have to pass through all these before we think of illumination or nirvana or any such thing, or God vision. So we get into the practical side of it. I have so much of anger. I have so much of feeling of disappointment in me. I have so much of liking and disliking. I'm carrying a feeling of guilty for so many years. Is it not? These are the obstacles. As soon as you sit for meditation, this comes. The morning I was out with a beautiful haircut, spending $200 or $100 or $50. And as you move around, someone comes. I did it. That's all. That's all. He made it and then she went away. And this person got into one word and comes back. That person does not get any sleep and gets up. The point. How we got easily affected by these small little things. These small little things, unless we clear, we cannot imagine. And we cannot even have a hint of what spiritual is. So therefore, we have to clear up all these things. And if I have the feeling of guilty for many, many years, I would like to clear it out. If I don't know how, there are many people who have conquered it, who knows about it. Let me ask them, how did you do that? How did you win over this feeling? So the emotions can bind you strongly, that your thoughts can make you as a prisoner. We have to get rid of this, or we have to know how to overcome this. Then you will get an idea. So here is the freedom. Here is the spirituality. Every time you win over the emotion, you win over your thoughts, you win over toxic thinking and emotion. You have one step ahead of yours. You don't have to worry about your true spiritual nature. You don't have to worry about God. You don't have to create a God. Simply remove all the obstacles that are blocking the vision. That is the practice. Spirituality practice. We are trying. Is it possible? 100% possible. And that is what we should do. As a spiritual aspirant, as a seeker, as a confident, we go towards this and then see for ourselves. I always like this idea. If I meditate every day for 30 minutes, at the end of the month, I have spent 15 hours, I have worked it, what did I get? Suppose you work for a month, you get a salary. You got something. So similarly, in practice, spiritual practice, you must be able to say, yes, I began with that. But now, understood how to get over the anger. Previously, I used to get angry every half an hour. Now I get angry every 2 hours. How fine. Every 2 hours, now I get angry, or now I get some kind of exploding. Now we have the tendency of exploding. I asked one person. And then she came and then we had a video. How frequently you explode? He says, very often. My father, we don't need that. So we had a discussion and then finished. 6 months later on, she came. Swami, I am still with the trouble. That's fine. But let me ask, how often now you explode? Almost now 1.5 hours. Every 1.5 hours now I explode. Oh, that's you have made a lot of progress. Previously, every half an hour you explode. Now every 1.5 hours or 2 hours you are exploding. It's okay, you have made a progress. So see that person has the perception moving forward, moving towards the result. So that is how we have to analyze ourselves, our own spiritual progress, and certainly you will have all the indications of the progress you make. God shows it, certainly. How? How do you know that I am able or even I have the fault? First of all, the reduction in the number of waves in the mind. An average person, according to study, an average person's head at least 50 to 60,000 thoughts cross the mind every day.
It's zero.
A single day during the waking state. Well, after 5 years of practice, if you say at least 5 to 6,000 thoughts cross my mind, that's fine. You have made a great progress. You can literally feel that the amount of thoughts are reducing, disturbing you much, much less. Number one. But two, you can literally feel that the amount of doubts are reduced. I had doubt previously, even small things, whether I can do this or not, whether I is good or not. So every time I need a consultant. And now I know what is good and what is bad, and how to decide, and how to go about it. So the number of doubts reduced. Then the third is the amount of fear that you had earlier. It begins to reduce. How? Because of the self-knowledge that you are acquiring. And you are not just only the body-based being. You are not only the mind-based being. You are not that only emotional ups and downs. There is much more. So this self-knowledge opens up something different. Okay, spirituality is true, meditation is true, concentration is true. There exists something, higher consciousness, true. So everything you begin to say, okay, this is true, this is true. So that is how you acquire the faith turning into conviction. There is nothing more looking back. It is clearing the path. So the more you clear, the more you feel lighter. The more you feel lighter, the sign of spirituality. According to the Patanjali Yoga Sutra, feel lighter within is a sign of spirituality. Not that you feel lighter within because of some pop songs and all those things. No, this is out of self-knowledge. You know something that was unknown earlier. Now it is known. So as a result, you carry an amount of peace. You carry always the remembrance of the Lord. And whatever you do, it has a new way of vision. You don't grow two horns, as Holy Mother said, by being spiritual. But your personality changes. You become more considerate and more loving and more sacrificing. And then not creating any kind of great expectation in return. At the same time, I do things I love to do. I do good because I love to do good. That's all, nothing else. So Swami Ranganathan, great master, used to say, on one side we grow spiritually, on the other side we translate it into action. Nothing else is done because it is the Lord gives and gives and gives. The sun simply gives. The moon simply gives its lights. The rain just gives. The nature just gives. You look at the nature, everything only giving. The fruit, the flower, everything only giving. Nothing is asking in return. Only the human being so selfish. For me, you can learn a lot from the nature. Look at the sun, the source of energy. I would say every morning, as soon as you get up, you salute the sun. Because that energy that is sustaining all of us, how much we remember. Look at the nature, the rain, or the sun, or the wind, whatever it is. Nature is in abundance, it makes us happy. But how do we remember? How much we remember? Hardly. So this is like calling and awakening consciousness. The air you breathe, the oxygen you inhale. You have not brought your cylinder, I have not brought my cylinder, and nobody has brought our cylinder. Everybody is sharing. You see, bodily, you are all different. We are all different. Mentally, we are all different. Emotionally, we are all different. Appearance, we are all different. everything is different. But on one thing, we are all united. What is that? Sharing the same space, sharing the same air. Is it not? Is it not a wonder? Sharing the same air, the Swami, or the devotee, or the director, or you, or me, or the child. Do we remember? The moment you remember, your consciousness expands. You are not alone. You are linked to each and every being. Where there is suffering, there is compassion. Where there is happiness, you feel happy. Patanjali Yoga say, one of the signs of being spiritual is be happy in happiness of the others. Wonderful. Normally, it doesn't happen outside. You want somebody next door neighbor, what are you doing here? What happened? So some like this can clear up all the obstacles. That is what spirituality practice. We are practicing. We don't know what it is, but I am clearing out all the obstacles. You don't have to worry about God, worry about karma, worry about the existence, worry about the infinity. You don't have to worry. So Sri Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, if it is infinity, if the reality is infinite, God is infinite, you don't have to worry. Okay? Because it is infinite, it's going to exist, whether you know it or not. Now, if it is finite, it is not going to exist one day or another. It change. That also you don't have to worry. In both ways, you don't have to worry. Why you make your spiritual life so complicated? It is very simple, direct, simply clearing the obstacles that blocks the vision. I would consider to this as the most practical, spiritual, in spiritual search on everyday life. You don't have to go for something extraordinary. Every time something comes affecting you, how can I keep? Make free myself. If I don't know, I go to the scripture, I ask the masters, I ask X, Y, Z, and I get clear. I don't have to carry on all those big stones in my heart year after year, life after life. Don't have. So remove all those things, baggage, and travel light. You are traveling light towards the light. Is what's all. And everyone can do it. And Sri Ramakrishna Swami Vivekananda, Holy Mother, they have shown that, they have demonstrated. So we only are here to carry a little bit every day in our daily life. We see. So therefore, we seek their blessings, we seek their guidance in our everyday life, so that we clear the obstacles, we clear all those things and make ourselves feel blessed in marching towards freedom. Thank you.
Thank you so much from Nirmalatmananda. And for that, explaining simply the meaning of spirituality and also giving us insights on what is growing spiritually. Thank you very much. And finally, we have the words from Sarvasthananda Ji Maharaj, who's going to enlighten us on Vedanta and the science of finite philosophy.
I'm audible?
Yes. Yes.
Jananim Sararam Devi Ramakrishnam Jagat Gurum Vadapadme Tayo Shritva Pranamami. Revered Swamiji and all the devotees, admirers of this Ramakrishna Vedanta Center in Ireland. I had the privilege of coming here 4 years ago when it was inaugurated. And Today, I'm supposed to speak a few words on a very key term, which is very often referred to all over the world. It has become a very popular word. Perhaps after yoga, the most popular word from Hindu philosophy or Indian philosophy is the word Vedanta. Vedanta as the science of human possibility, not infinite possibility. Infinite possibilities, of course, but human possibility. Now, this idea came to me because Swami Vivekananda once said, referring to his own master, and he categorically said this. He said, you cannot understand the Vedas and Vedanta without understanding it in the light of Sri Ramakrishna's life. That set me thinking. There have been people trying to understand Vedanta for centuries. There are so many schools which we see. But why is he saying in particular that Sri Ramakrishna is not only the personification of the Vedas, Veda Murti, that is the word he used in Sanskrit. He is literally the Veda Murti. The Vedas are supposed to be the most ancient and the essence of spiritual thought, what spirituality really is in the Indian subcontinent. And how Sri Ramakrishna has made it easy for us to understand the essence of Vedas, because he goes directly. I remember a famous statement when Mahatma Gandhi was asked to write a foreword to the biography of Sri Ramakrishna. He never wrote forewords to anybody's biography, including his own, who was a Jain monk. But he wrote because something in him told him that here is a man, here is a person, here is a spiritual personality who not only talks about God, but who's seeing God every moment of his life. These are the words. You know how much devoted Mahatma Gandhi was to truth. He would not say anything. Nobody, including the British government, would force him to say something which he did not believe was truth. But he says in his biography, very small introduction to the life of Sri Ramakrishna, he says his religion, Sri Ramakrishna's religion enables you to see God face to face. So that is what Vedanta does. It helps us to touch the spiritual essence of man. As all the esteemed speakers before, they mentioned this, that the essence of Vedanta, as explained by Sri Ramakrishna's wonderful gospel and his own life. So he lived that life. That's why Gandhi said, enables us to see God or truth face to face. So that is one thing. And then taking a hint from the wonderful life and message of his own master, Swami Vivekananda took up the challenge which the West posed, not only to Hinduism, but also to all the different religions of the world. You know that when Swami Vivekananda came to the West, people were swearing by science. They said science is a search after truth. So religion was crumbling, literally crumbling, and they could not withstand. I mean, I'm talking of the religion as it is understood, the organizations and the theological interpretation of religion. I'm not talking of the essential teachings of the great masters who spoke in only same voice. They talked the spirit and spirit alone. They never talked about theology. They never talked about churches. They never talked about temples, mosques. These were creations after they left. You go to the original message of all the prophets, they speak the same language. And that is what Sri Ramakrishna came to point out. And that's what Vedanta stands for. So, Swami Vivekananda found another challenge, not to convince believers. Believers will of course believe in Vedanta. But Swami Vivekananda took the wonderful method of Sri Ramakrishna, that is experience Vedanta, not just speak of Vedanta. It's an entirely different thing to understand Vedanta through our mind, but another thing to experience the Vedantic truth in one's own life. And that he found the only person, at least during his lifetime, it was Sri Ramakrishna, his master. He said every moment he lived Vedanta. So Ramakrishna Vedanta, as it is known, not because he invented it, because he interpreted it, the same Vedanta for ages, spoken of by different prophets, different religions. Sri Ramakrishna lived in one life and he explored all the possibilities. And that is why Swami Vivekananda said, or tried to explain this Vedanta as a science of human possibility. So science was challenging everything, and they believe they are the ones who know truth. And everybody was swearing by science that this is scientific. This is not scientific. Religion is not scientific. This was a challenge posed to the whole humanity. And in fact, religion was losing its mooring. In fact, the science, in those scientific movement, the scientific temper, which we'll see now, was almost destroying the very structure of organized religion. That's what Swami said famously in the Chicago Parliament of Religions. He said, science, because it is a search of truth. But he said, it's okay, science speaks about truth, experimental verification of physical facts, of other facts which we see and perceive. But even religion or true spirituality or Vedanta also speaks of the same universal laws. And if it is true to you, if it is true to a Christian, if it is true to a Muslim, it is true to a Hindu, it should be true to all. Only universal principles will stand. Just as science says, if something is disproved, we just throw it. No scientist will accept if something is proved to be false. So also he said, apply that theory, apply that idea or that method to religion. And he was the first. Not only that, he said, my master was the first to, Sri Ramakrishna was the first person to challenge and place religion on a scientific basis and say experience alone is religion. Do you experience what you say? Do you not just believe? Belief is a very, very flimsy ground on which ideas can be expressed. I may believe, but somebody else may not believe. But if I see, and if I promise that you can also see, that is the challenge. From when Swami Vivekananda first went to Sri Ramakrishna, he was full of doubts. And then he said, not only do I see, but I can show God to you. I can show what spirit is and what spiritual reality. So coming back to the idea of human possibility, Vedanta is the science of human possibilities. We begin with the physical possibilities, the world around us. Vedanta has a wonderful concept of 5 levels of existence. It can be classified into more levels, but basically we believe in 5 levels, which everybody, every scientist, every human being can vouch for. The first level is the physical level. Everybody understands. The physical level, the universe around us. And there is another level, which is the energy level. We call it prana, call it energy or force or whatever. Then we come to the mental level. There are 2 layers of the mind, which was one of the greatest discoveries made by Vedanta or the Vedas. That is a mind which is, you may say, a reactive mind, and another mind which is the intuitive mind. So these are the different 5 layers, and then there is a higher reality, the 5th reality, which is the spirit, which is also described as bliss, or which is the ultimate reality towards which all religious prophets, all religious leaders, all spiritual pursuit is directed towards that. So we've begun with the physical, and we are traveling, as Swami Vivekananda, one of the most significant thing he said, don't say I am right, you are wrong. We are traveling from lower truth to higher truth. Nobody had heard this concept. Of course, it was there in our scriptures. The Vedas are full of that. Lower truth, paravidya, aparavidya. We travel from lower truth to higher truth. A materialist, when he says matter is everything, it's fine. But don't stop at that. Just start making progress. There's another level, the energy level, which interacts with this material universe. Scientists have found that. Then there is a mental universe, the reactive mind, which we share with animals. Most of the animals, they just react to external stimuli. But human beings are slightly different. And that is the level which is also known as buddhi, the discriminative mind, the viveka. That level is something which makes us unique. We can discriminate between what is permanent, what is not permanent. That is not given to others. They are just in a reactive mode. So that was the greatest discovery of the Vedas. And that was the discovery of all the prophets, of all religion who believed that spirit alone survived. When Jesus said the kingdom of God is within you, and the kingdom of God is the kingdom of the spirit, not the kingdom. People misunderstood him. That's why they crucified him. He calls himself a king. But he was speaking of the kingdom of God, not the kingdom of the worldly kingdom, which kings aspire. That selfishness driven, that greed driven kingdom. Physical reality is true. Maybe it is true. But you have to rise above that physical level. So Vedanta, as lived by Sri Ramakrishna, explained by Vivekananda, because he came to, Swami Vivekananda very clearly said, he lived the great life and left me to explain what was the significance of that life to all of us. So Vedanta in practice was Sri Ramakrishna, and Swami Vivekananda tried to explain to us. That is why when we always speak of Vedanta, when we talk of Ramakrishna Vedanta, Vedanta as explained, Vedanta is the essence of the Vedas, the end of the Vedas, or the spiritual truths, a collection of spiritual truths. It doesn't mean it's just a Hindu bunch of truths. Vedanta can be any truth which talks about the spirit. So that is how Swami Vivekananda said, Sri Ramakrishna for the first time had an extremely scientific approach. That religion does not mean faith, religion does not mean dogmas, however great they might be part of any religion or any religious belief system. But religion means it should be religion in practice. It should be experimentally verifiable. And in that, he said, science or science as it should be is the best way to understand the truths, just as science is a method, a very foolproof method. It does not depend on Newton or anybody. If Newton's theories are wrong, he cannot hold on to it. Somebody else will come and disprove it. He has to show it. So Sri Ramakrishna for the first time said, just as science verifies physical and energy levels and other truths, the spiritual truths also have to be verified. And unless you experience that, it cannot be established. One has to see. So Mahatma Gandhi, when he wrote a foreword, some wonderful words he wrote about Sri Ramakrishna. He said, his religion, Sri Ramakrishna's religion enables you to see God face to face. That's the idea. So Vedanta is the science of human possibilities. What are our possibilities? We have physical possibilities. Everybody knows that. There's so much of progress mankind has made. How to develop one's body, the ideas of nutrition, every scientific discovery has improved the quality of physical life. Then we come to the other part, the so-called the forces that run the body. We have learned a lot. So much of scientific discovery has gone beyond how the physiological process of human being, you can help lead a better life, healthier life. So we have understood a lot about prana, the second level, which Vedanta refers to. It's a 5 levels, they speak of 5 levels, and every time you go to higher and higher levels, newer and newer things, possibilities are discovered by human being. And the goal of religion is to explore the highest possibility. So then they discovered, Vedanta discovered, that there are mental possibilities. Man is not just the physical body and the forces. Otherwise, what's the difference between us and animals? We also have a reactive mind. Some of the animals have better reactive mind than us. They are sharper, they can sense, dogs can smell better, they can understand. So we are not as powerful as them, but we have a higher faculty, which is known as buddhi or the higher mind. That is the fundamental difference between us and everybody else in the human kingdom. They share the same physical universe, they share the same pranic universe, the life force is common to all animals, plants, take whatever it is. Even the atom has some force. That prana is there in even the dead matter, the atoms and molecules. But when it comes to the level of buddhi, that was the greatest discovery made by the Vedas and all religions. I'm not talking of only Hinduism. Across religions, when Jesus said the kingdom of God is the kingdom of the spirit, if we don't understand, it is our fault. Vedas also continuously say, try to go forward, go forward. Charai Veti, as they say in Sanskrit, don't stop. It's good. You have a strong physical body, you explode everything, go to the next level, develop your prana in such a way that you make the body strong, understand all the forces, the physiological forces which make you a strong person, makes you develop a healthy body, but don't stop, go and develop your lower mind. Lower mind is known as manas in Vedanta. Develop that, develop skills which animals don't have, which makes you superior to them in intelligence. But there is another level which every spiritual teacher, mind you, I am not speaking of Hinduism alone, everybody talks about this level, which is intuition, spiritual intuition. We call it buddhi in Sanskrit. But every religion speaks of the same truth in different ways. So at that level, you are able to discriminate what is permanent, what is not permanent, what is eternal, what is non-eternal. What is the thing that you have to leave behind when you die? When you ask the questions about life and all those things, these are the matters which enable you to take the right decision at the right time. To take the right decision, it's known as viveka in Sanskrit. It's discrimination, or in other words, following the teachings of the great masters. If you don't have the brains to understand the great spiritual truths, we have to believe in the scriptures, but not blindly, not blindly. We have to explore, we have to find out, and Vedanta gives you the freedom. Sri Ramakrishna or even Swami Vivekananda said, don't believe, because I did. Verify it experimentally if you can. Just as you verify any scientific truth in the laboratory, go to the laboratory of spirituality. And that is where he found Sri Ramakrishna master. He never said believe. You believe in something, okay, but prove it. Just as a scientist would tell, don't just take my word for it. Just go to the laboratory, do it. You don't have to take my word for it. Just follow it or experiment. So it's the great laboratory of human life where Sri Ramakrishna performed experiments, not only according to Hinduism or Vedanta, mind you. He was the first prophet or first scientist. I would prefer to use the word scientist because he was a spiritual scientist. He says, just as a glutton wants to eat different foods, Sri Ramakrishna said, I want to taste God in different ways. Oh, what does a Muslim say? What does a Sikh say? What does a Hindu say? What does a Christian say? So he was, in his own words, a spiritual glutton. Glutton, you know what? They want to taste everything. They are not satisfied with one way. That is the uniqueness of Sri Ramakrishna. So Vedanta was there, Vedas were there. These things were hidden. But the greatness of Sri Ramakrishna was to discover that truth. And Swamiji says, my task was to interpret it to the world. And Master discovered everything. That is why the name Ramakrishna he was hesitating to start the Ramakrishna mission. Why should we name it? There are so many previous persons who have started their name, and he knew the dangers that it will become a sect. But he said Sri Ramakrishna is not just the founder of a particular sect, but he gives life and energy to all the religions, which has never before happened in the history of the world. We are proud because he said all different paths lead to the same goal. No doubt everybody else said the same thing, but unfortunately the followers did not perhaps understand. Jesus said the same thing. All the prophets of the world said the same thing. Perhaps the disciples or the followers could not get the right meaning. So when he said the kingdom of God is within you, perhaps we did not understand. So Sri Ramakrishna came and then brought Swami Vivekananda with him to show that just as you swear by science, scientists will never say, I believe it, you have to believe it. No, he said, you perform the experiment. So for the first time, religion was based on an experimental basis. So Vedanta as a science of human possibility, which we need to explore and reach the culmination of our life, is open for all. There is no nationality, no race, no creed. This is the first thing which Swami Vivekananda said in the Parliament of Christians and even afterwards. Don't limit Sri Ramakrishna. He is not or even if you try to limit other people, but don't limit Sri Ramakrishna, because I am yet to understand him. He is so vast. So many times people ask, why are you so sectarian about Ramakrishna? Why can't you just say Vedanta? That's what he also believed. But then he found overwhelming evidence that here is a person whom I am not able to understand after traveling all over the world. He says, still my mind is incapable of understanding the universal message which embraces all. There's absolutely nothing in Sri Ramakrishna which can be called as narrow. Even some of the paths which were criticized in India, and Swami Vivekananda criticized. Oh, they are following this negative path. Then, Sri Ramakrishna, what he said, and that opened Swami Vivekananda's vision. He said, every house has a front door. Maybe there is a back door. He could not criticize even the weirdest of sects. Even if, suppose a person is ignorant, who are you to tell he is wrong? Perhaps the house has a back door. All need not go through the front door. Maybe he'll make a mistake, maybe it will take time, but you see, there is a back. So that opens Sri Ramakrishna's eyes that you can't discriminate on the basis of I am right, you are wrong. These are the things which bring a lot of division among people. So he could not find. That's why he said, I am such a poor instrument to explain my great master. So he was one of the most universal persons. He spoke in the Parliament of Religion. Many criticized him. Why didn't you use the word Ramakrishna? Why didn't you speak about that? He said, it is beyond my conception to understand what Sri Ramakrishna was. Not that I did not want to start a sect in his name. Otherwise, why would he have named the organization as the Ramakrishna Mission? He gave a lot of thought to that. He said, will it become sectarian? No. He says, all will unite, irrespective of caste, creed, religion. All will unite in the name of Ramakrishna. Not Ramakrishna the person. It's the idea that is Ramakrishna. And Swami Vivekananda said, I saw him growing every day in idea. I tried to catch him. And he was always greater than what I thought. Then I thought, gave up. Swami Vivekananda himself confesses. He was always growing. And what I tried to, that's why he did not write the biography of Sri Ramakrishna. He didn't write. So he left, he requested Shardan. He said, in trying to make a God, I'll perhaps make a picture of a monkey, because my mind is limited and he is always growing in ideas, growing in personality. I am a very, very, very humble instrument. Maybe he had high estimation of Narendra, as he was known, Vivekananda, he had a very great estimation. He said, you will teach the world. But even then, see the humility of Swami Vivekananda. He said, I saw him growing in height. And he said, to limit Sri Ramakrishna would be to limit infinity itself. The infinite, just as you can't limit the concept of infinite, you cannot limit the concept of, you cannot limit Sri Ramakrishna. So he is not just a person. The photo may represent him. But when Swami Vivekananda decided to honor his master by naming the organization, of which we are all brand centers, in our own way we follow. Some of them in the West, they are known as Vedanta centers, sometimes it's called Ramakrishna Vedanta, but absolutely the universal spirit has to be maintained at all costs. Swami Vivekananda, I conclude with this. He said, everything can be sacrificed for this sentiment of universality. He said, if something which Sri Ramakrishna hated, it was the idea of exclusiveness. Oh, this is the only way, that is the only way. No. Even some of the most horrible sects, there are so many degenerated sects in India because religion goes into the hands of so many people. So Swami Vivekananda was one day criticized. These people, they don't understand religion. Then Sri Ramakrishna was so liberal, so large-hearted. He said, after all, maybe there is a back door entry. They may not go through the front door. He refused to criticize, leave alone other religions, even the worst at face value, they appear to be horrible sects. No human being will accept. But he said, perhaps, we don't know. So much humility, so much universality. So that is why he proposed the name Ramakrishna Mission. Everybody said, you believe in universal values, you taught all over the world in the Parliament of Religions, but now you want to name me after your master, because he says, I saw Sri Ramakrishna always growing in ideas. I cannot see his ideas were so infinite and in so large and broad ways that I felt if I did not use this personality and place it before the world before I die. So that was the greatness of Sri Ramakrishna, not as a human, not just as a personality, because he said he was always growing in ideas. I never saw him. The moment he tried to catch Sri Ramakrishna, he was growing. So with that spirit, the wonderful human possibilities which we are trying to explore in our own way. And he said one great thing about my master, he never criticized him. He may be ignorant now, but he will, as he sees life. All of us make mistakes. He didn't even call them mistakes. He said, my master never tolerated the idea of sin or mistake. They are just errors, different levels of understanding. As you grow, the more you see everything in a broad encompass, a broad vision. And that is the golden message which we all have to remember. Sri Ramakrishna works till today. I'm sure he works. We are most trivial instruments. Even Swami Vivekananda, such a person, a world leader, he said Sri Ramakrishna can create 1,000 Vivekanandas at a mere wish. I'm so insignificant. And remember, he was the one who spoke at the Parliament of Religions. Everybody now praises him. Such a person says, I am a humble instrument, and my master, that is Sri Ramakrishna, can create thousands of Vivekanandas at a mere wish. If at all he has allowed me to do all these things, it is his grace and his glory. And he's far beyond our conception. And he says the greatest sin, or maybe never use the word sin, greatest mistake would be to limit my master within boundaries. He was beyond all boundaries, beyond all religions. He was the essence of what is known as spirituality. He could not be contained. That's why he hated the word. He did not like, there's something very strange. He did not like closed space. He always liked the infinite. He said, that gives me an idea of narrowness. This is my space, that's my space. So Sri Ramakrishna, I end with a famous parable. He said, God laughs several times. One of the times is when two brothers quarrel with each other and say, this is my field, that is your field. There is a fence. So God says, this everything belongs to me. I mean, belongs to the Creator. And who are you to limit? So God laughs many times, and one of the times is that when people quarrel with each other, saying my view is correct, your view is wrong, and then let us have a fight and decide who wins. That was never Sri Ramakrishna's idea. Even the most ignorant or the most superstitious of sects within Hinduism, outside also, if somebody criticizes, you get upset. But this is not, how do you know? Who are you to judge somebody else? So with that spirit, with that universal spirit, I would not call it scientific, because when science as it is understood now, they just understand the spiritual science, the physical science and some energies associated with it. We swear by science, but science is much beyond the physical reality that we see. There is a mental universe. We have not yet understood what it is. There's so many things which we cannot even dream of. So Sri Ramakrishna was far, far, far beyond. He saw everything in a very, very charitable light. Everybody is going towards the same goal. He was the first one to say that no matter where you start, you will all end up with the same, end up at the same goal. So that is the universal message. There will be differences. There will be differences between people. But that should not deviate us from this great ideal. Swami Vivekananda said, I place the master before you. Consider him as you want. Some will consider him a saint. Some will say, oh, it's just a mistake. Some will say it's an incarnation. There are so many interpretations. Allow everybody the freedom to interpret. He never insisted that if you limit the infinitude of God, or infinitude of Sri Ramakrishna, he said, you are doing a great disservice to him. Just as the Vedas were infinite, the spiritual truths and all the religious prophets, they spoke infinity, but we have restricted. We have made them, with our own limited minds, we quarrel. But if we consider that all come from the same source, the same infinite spirit is manifesting as different realities, then there is no quarrel. And that is what Sri Ramakrishna came to establish. So I'm very happy to come here, share a few thoughts with you. I'm very happy that Sri Ramakrishna's wonderful universal ideas. See, it is he who is doing. Don't forever think that we have the capacity to do anything. Even a small stone we cannot be. If it is his will, as Swami Vivekananda used to very often quote, if I made you, then live forever. I means God. And if you have made something, then let it be destroyed forever. So it is God's will that is working, and if we align ourselves to this wonderful phenomena. I would not call, as Roma Rolla said, he was a phenomenon. He was not a human being, or not even was he an avatar, as many would like. He is a phenomenon. So he's a phenomena which is ever growing. As Swamiji said, he is ever growing. You try to catch him, you cannot. Maybe you can put him in a frame, and Sri Ramakrishna is not just this image. So he said, the very fact that you try to limit Sri Ramakrishna, you are doing a great disservice. He can work in different ways, inspire different people, inspire people whom we consider as worthless ones. He can raise them. Swami Vivekananda famously said, and I end with this. He said he can make thousands of Vivekanandas from the dust of his feet. But because he has faith in me, I am privileged. It's nothing is impossible for me. So with that note, I'm very happy that this Ramakrishna Vedanta, not in the limited sense, let me tell you, though people Swami Vivekananda was the first person who did not want to place the personality, but he was the one who named Ramakrishna Mission. It's not that it was not a mistake, because he knew he's far, far, far beyond the idea of personality. He can never be narrow. So with that faith, with that universal attitude, let us hope that Sri Ramakrishna inspires us, gives us the wisdom to understand his infinite message to the extent we can, and do our little job. It's a privilege that we are even allowed to sit in his presence, think about him. We don't understand its full significance, his or Sri Ramakrishna's full significance, but the very fact that we have been given the privilege to think about him, to even with our limited minds, it's a great privilege. So I once again thank this wonderful center, and we do not know how many more places he will continue. Wherever it's his feet will. You may find him in any subcontinent of the world. So wherever he chooses, at the time of his choice, he will make his presence felt. It is for us to feel blessed by getting a little of that infinite mercy, infinite compassion, and make our lives blessed. So we should never have the wrong idea, which Swami Vivekananda himself said, such a great prophet, such a great world leader. He said, I am nothing. Towards the end of his life, he said, I am nothing. I am that small boy, Dakshineshwar, and sit at the feet. I'm not even fit to even sit at his feet. It's his mercy that has brought us all together. So once again, I pray to Sri Ramakrishna so that he enlightens our intellect, gives us the right wisdom to do the right thing, make the right choice at the right time, which is known as Viveka, and take the right decision in the interest in our own life, in collective life, individual life, take the right decision for the benefit of humanity for which we give. Om Shanti Shanti.
Thank you very much. Now we'd like to have you with us, Swami Bodhasarananda.
So, congratulations, all you yogis. So long, go stand up. Okay. The first person to reach the ceiling gets the prize. Okay. One side and the other. I want some spaces like Okay, all right. So, so many people to thank. Well, first, I want to thank Peter and your team for doing such a wonderful job. Last Saturday was removing. I hope you'll be there on a frequent basis and continue. Thank you. Then I thank Swami Ishatmananda there for introducing this retreat, highlighting that retreat, the word itself has, you can also if you want to. And highlighting the real nature that we have. That is why we are here. And so thanks to all the Revered Swamis, Swami Bodhasarananda, Swami Ishatmananda, Swami Nirmalatmananda, Swami Sarvasthananda, all our distinguished Swamis. Thank you all for getting some wonderful, wonderful guidelines. Swami Bodhasarananda reminded us that this is 125th anniversary of the Ramakrishna movement, and he reminded us about the nectar that this spreads and the togetherness of spreading this nectar. It's all our duty, but of course, we have to be the embodiment of this nectar also. He went through some of the great landmarks and spread of the Vedanta movement in literature, starting from 1898, Max Muller and so on, going right through. So that was wonderful. And then thanks to Sangamitra, where are you?
She's there.
Okay. Okay. What a wonderful rendition of Shivoham. And also, I was at her family home many years ago anyway, her father and mother's home. Her mother was also a distinguished singer. Thanks to Brian O'Halloran. Where are you? Even Jesus was a carpenter. And for your beautiful Gaelic rendition of the song dedicated to Mother. Thank you. Swami Ishatmananda, for giving us your humor and telling us about tribal experiences, and not your tribal experiences. It reminds me of the cannibals or the Christians who gave their cannibals their first taste of Christianity. And then his wish to live, to know, and to be happy, the three essential human requirements that are there. And I'm sure we'll all remember the Pancha Yajnas. Yes. All good. And then we have Swami Nirmalatmananda, who reminded us of the practical side of spirituality and reminded us of the necessity for concentration and the necessity for action in terms of that, and the challenges of our own thoughts and our own minds, and what meditation is when we walk alone in meditation, and also the progressive improvements that can be measured and understood, and we can be encouraged by small steps. He reminded us that as we progress, doubts decrease, waves in the mind decrease, and also fear decreases and self-knowledge increases. These are some of the salient characteristics of what he was saying. Feeling a little lighter, not in a physical sense, but in a spiritual sense. And then Swami Sarvasthananda reminds us of the science of human possibilities, and how Vedanta is scientific, not in a theoretical sense, but in a highly practical sense, that Ramakrishna teaches us to use the laboratory of our own minds, as he did. And the evidence or the proof is face-to-face understanding, realization. How Ramakrishna is way beyond concepts, way beyond pictures and forms, and how he embodies this science of human possibilities, leading us to divine possibilities and our own nature. And the story of the two brothers, which Ramakrishna told while fighting over land, I told this at a facilitation at Trinity College, where we were facilitating Israelis and Palestinians. And I told them exactly that story. And they were so impressed, so charmed by it, that I hope it had some effect. Sri Ramakrishna goes across the board, modern difficulties in human conflicts. So by way of thanks, I would like also to present the first volume. And I also like to tell you that the second volume that Revered Maharaj launched is actually available before Christmas. Nudge, nudge. And so, Swami Bodhasarananda, please accept this. Volume 1. Yes. And also, you already have this, but
Thank you very much. Thank you. And of course, once again, a very big thank you to our senior monks who have enlightened us to their words. Thank you very much to have been, to all of you who've been here, part of this beautiful evening. We move on to the service and followed by the service. So I please request everybody to join us.
thank you. Just for thank you. I did not reach out. But my answer. From the audience.
Yeah, probably possible 5-10 minutes you can take your seat again. Yeah.
No, sorry, 17. 13, 17. In 13, sorry.
Excellent. Nice day. Thank you to all of you.
Once again, thank you very much, and thank you for giving such a triple close to the evening as well. Thank you. And can I please request you all